I want to talk about something so basic that it becomes tricky to give it a neat title. Let's just say it's about what's really going on, the nature of reality. Each of us carries certain ideas about life, inherited from our culture, language, and history. These ideas shape what we call common sense. Many of these ideas go back thousands of years, still influencing how we see the world, often without us realizing it. A myth, in the sense I'm using it, isn't just a fairy tale or a lie. It's more like a deep story or image that helps us interpret our experience. Even scientists use metaphors to explain things. For example, comparing electricity to water flowing through pipes doesn't literally describe electricity, but it gives us a framework to understand it. In the same way, different cultures have created their own underlying myths to explain life itself. Right now, two big pictures of the universe have shaped Western thought. One I call the ceramic model, and the other, the fully automatic model. The ceramic model goes back to the Book of Genesis, shared by Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Here, the universe is pictured as an artifact, like a pot made by a potter or a table made by a carpenter. God is the master artisan with a blueprint in mind, and the world is what he fashions. This model says we and everything else are formed out of some basic material, like clay, given shape by an external intelligence. In this view, there's a sharp distinction between the maker and the made. The clay has no intelligence of its own. The potter breathes life and order into it. But over time, as scientific thinking advanced, another model emerged, the fully automatic model. This model questions whether we need a divine potter at all. Scientists found that saying God runs it all didn't help predict anything, so they dropped the God hypothesis and replaced it with natural laws. The universe became a giant machine made of tiny atoms bouncing around, obeying these laws. In this model, we are separate things in a clockwork cosmos, with no deeper meaning beyond blind force and coincidence. It painted a picture of life as an accident, where survival means wresting control from a mindless nature. But here's the thing, neither model is fact. They're both metaphors. And today, modern physics paints an even stranger picture. Matter isn't made of solid lumps of stuff. The closer we look, the more we see patterns of energy, vibrations, relationships, and processes. It's as if the universe is waves, forms, and rhythms, not lumps of clay or cold machinery. And what about us? We might feel separate, but take a closer look. The air you breathe, the food you eat, the sunlight on your skin, they're not just out there. They are part of what keeps you alive. In that sense, you can't explain what a person is doing without also describing what their environment is doing. Imagine a whirlpool in a river. Water flows and a whirlpool appears. We can identify that swirl as a distinct pattern and give it a name, but the water is always moving in and out. Likewise, each of us is a pattern the universe is creating moment by moment. We are more like events than static things. Think about the Big Bang. Scientists propose that long ago there was a massive explosion that scattered energy everywhere. Over billions of years, that same energy took shape in stars and galaxies, eventually forming life here on Earth. If that's true, then we aren't the aftermath of the Big Bang. We are the Big Bang, still unfolding. It's still going on right now as you. We often think of ourselves as isolated droplets, but in truth, we are the continuation of that cosmic splash. Everything is interconnected. Even the word thing is just a linguistic convenience. Nature is wiggly and fluid, but we carve it up with language to make sense of it. Thinghood is just a mental habit. And what about you? Is there really a boundary between you and the rest of the universe? Your skin isn't a wall that keeps you in. It's a meeting point between you and the world. You are not separate from your environment. You are woven into a larger network, and that network is woven back into you. Modern life often makes us feel alienated and anxious. The old myths either give us a dominating god or a meaningless machine, leaving us feeling powerless. But there is another way. You can realize you are not apart from the universe. You are an expression of it. Like a leaf growing on a tree, You are not separate from the whole. When we embrace this understanding, we stop trying to dominate life, and we stop feeling like victims of it. Instead, we can marvel at how the universe peoples, just like an apple tree, apples. You are not some lonely accident. You are the unfolding of the cosmos, expressing itself in human form.
And maybe that's the key shift. Instead of seeing reality as lifeless matter shaped by an external deity or a cold, accidental machine, you begin to see reality as a vast, playful energy, an ongoing dance that includes you, me, and everything else. Then perhaps life can be lived more freely, more harmoniously, and with a deep sense of belonging. And maybe, just maybe, that is the point.